Well, welcome everyone. I'm Brendan Smith, Assistant Director of Career Services here at Regent University, and this is one of our virtual fairs for June of 2018. And so we bring a diverse group of employers to students online and on campus. And this is being recorded, so if you find something you like, you can watch it later. But what we'll do is each employer gets about 10 to 15 minutes to present. We'll open up the chat for questions from students, whether you want to ask them by just talking and speaking and using your webcam and microphone. If you don't have one, there is a chat box and you can access that as well. And so what we'll do is we'll go through a series of questions too with each employer once they give a presentation or are guided through the questions for their company. Some of them will be sharing slides. And if you have registered for this online, we have your email address, so we'll be able to send you a link to this once it's over, and you can network and connect with employees. So I will open us in prayer and we will get started because CBN is up first at 1 o'clock. So Lord, we just thank you for the employers who join us here today. And we just pray, Father, that you make the connections you want to make, and that the students and the employers are blessed for having interacted with one another. It's in your holy and awesome name we pray. Amen. All right, so what I will do first is go ahead and share my screen and give you all an overview of what our presentation will look like today. We have the CBN Prayer Center now at 2 o'clock, Symmetry Financial at 2:20, Pine Cove Camp at 2:40, Chesterfield County at 3 o'clock, Hampton Schools at 3:20, and the Literacy Lab at 3:40. And that is our agenda and schedule. Of course, we hope to see all these employers show up. If they don't, no big deal. We will be happy to connect you with them with more information. If you go into CareerLink, you can find the opportunities they have posted there. Without further ado, though, I'm going to unmute CBN and let them begin their presentation.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. And I'm going to, first of all, I'd like to say I'm glad to have the students here. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Can you hear me okay? Yep. Okay, great. We are CBN and we have some information we wanted to share with you all. And I'm going to try to get my PowerPoint up here. Give me just a moment. Here. I'm going to do this here. Swap that out. There we go. All right. So today we do have a couple of people representing CBN, both from Virginia Beach and Nashville. I'm Diane Stevenson, and I'm the Prayer Center Manager handling recruiting here in Virginia Beach. And I have with me today in Virginia Beach, John Struso, who's the assistant coach and recruiting coordinator as well. And I have Fonz. And Fonz, could you tell me your full name, please?
It's Fonz Santiago.
Fonz Santiago, and he works here in the Virginia Beach office. We also have Tracy Swagger. She's our Prayer Center Director for Nashville, and she also handles the remote agents. And we have Rebecca online, and she's actually off-site, but she's in Virginia Beach as well. And she will be sharing a little bit about what she does. And as you see here on the slide, we have Pierre Moss. He can't be with us today, but he is representing Nashville, our CBN office in Nashville as well. I want to start off first by just saying that.
Hey, Diane.
Yes.
Can you reshare your slide? Does anybody see the slideshow? I don't see it.
All right, let me see what's going on here. Hold on. All right, let me see if I can figure out how to do that.
Are you still there?
Hello.
We're here. Do you want me to slide it from show it from this end?
Yeah, can you do that? I don't know if I lost it.
There, you guys.
Are you able to do it from there, Tracy?
Well, it says it's sharing. Does anybody see a slideshow yet?
I do. I see.
Yes, ma'am. We
Okay.
see your slides.
Okay.
So since you have that, you can go ahead, Tracy, and kind of go through with it, and we'll just kind of jump in when we need to.
All right, so I'll control them. You go ahead with your planned presentation, Diane.
Okay, can you tell which, I can't tell. Are you on the first page right now? The first slide?
Yes, yes, so our
Oh.
Prayer Center mission.
Oh, okay, see, we can't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If you go back and click on Zoom,
There we go. That,
now you'll see it.
I think we can see it now. But anyway, we'll continue on. Sorry about that. So we start off with the mission of CBN, and obviously we want to fulfill the Great Commission. And so that's our whole goal, purpose, and focus. And it just kind of reads here that, we want to prepare people for the second coming of Jesus Christ. This is, first of all, also Pat Robertson's mission is to, this whole center here and really the campus and everything about CBN and region is Pat Robertson. And so we wanted to be on board with what he's asking and desiring for our prayer center to do. And so we also have a prayer center mission. Just use this for a mine. And our prayer center mission is to serve Jesus Christ and further CBN's mission by providing compassionate prayer ministry and outstanding customer service. And that's what we want to do here in the prayer center. We want to make sure that we are really focusing on ministry as well as customer service, being able to provide our callers and our partners with the best service possible with a great experience. And at the same time, touching the hearts of those that are hurting, those that need to be reconnected with the Lord. So that's our vision in the prayer center. And that's what our agents do, and really everyone, all of our staff here is dedicated to serving those that are calling us, whether it's for prayer or for literature or whatever it is that we have to offer. The prayer center work environment. We operate as a contact center. And so we have the centers both in Nashville and in Virginia Beach. And most of our agents are on site. We do have some remote agents as well. And they are, you normally will work on site first. And then after a couple of months, if you realize you really desire to work from home, that is afforded to you as well. That it's an opportunity that you can start working from your home. But here we have a professional, and it's really a rewarding work environment. The pay is very competitive. We have part-time. We have both part-time and full-time positions here with part-time and full-time benefit packages, which include things like the 401k. You have sick time and vacation time as well. It's just a great place to work. It really is. A lot of times people come here, they grow in their faith as well, because as they're ministering to others, they're also being built up. We have people here where we also offer chapel. I wanted to mention that real quick too, that we do have chapel times that we offer our agents an opportunity to go in and to be lifted up and to be revived and refreshed while and after they've been on those phone calls and taking so many calls a day, they get to be refreshed themselves. So it really is a wonderful work environment, both kind of combining the professional side of things and the ministry side of things. It comes together and it works so well together as well. We want to just mention also that when you are a full-time CBN employee, and I'm hoping that you're able to keep up with me, Tracy. We can't see the screen right now, but I'll work on that later. But we are on the full-time CBN employees.
Yes.
All right, great. You will be able to enjoy, as it says here, 75% tuition discount at Regent University, and that's a yay. But when you come here, you can come working full-time and part-time, whichever position that is available to you and that you desire to work. But this is great to know that you can get a discount here at CBN to further your education at Regent University. The next thing we want to talk about a little bit, is John Struso is going to share a little bit about the partner service representative position. This is just one of the positions that we offer here in the Prayer Center. So he'll talk a little bit about that now.
I want to thank everybody for being a part of this, and thank you, Brennan and Regent, for hosting this. When it comes to a partner service representative, that's really one of the major positions we offer here, and that really it comes down to working on the prayer line. That's, if you want to kind of summarize it very succinctly, what a prayer service representative will be doing. I'll get to that in just a moment, but just for your reference here, we have both regular part-time and full-time positions. You'll also just be aware that will include weekends, Saturday and or Sunday, so something to be aware of there. The pay is $11.50 an hour, so it's a competitive pay. Also, we have bilingual positions, both part-time and full-time work that's available, and the pay for that is $12.19 per hour. With the full-time employees, the work for 40 hours per week, you would accrue vacation and sick leave. You're also eligible to participate in the 401k with the company match, as well as health and dental benefits. For those that are working part-time, averaging 20 plus hours per week, you also accrue part-time vacation and sick leave, and you're also eligible to participate in the 401k with the company match as well. When it comes to the partner service representative, kind of the objective for that is that you're communicating with both established and prospective CBN partners to really minister through prayer using accepted biblical doctrine. Most of the calls that we get, about 80% of the calls, are prayer requests. So it's something to be aware of. We really are a prayer line, but there are 20% of those calls customer service related and knowing about the ministry and what have you. So we train you very well. You are prepared when you get on that prayer line. So it's not something that we just throw you out there. But again, we have different shifts that are available, and you have that opportunity to work in state-of-the-art equipment in a positive, dynamic work environment here. And just let me highlight some of the qualifications for this position. Excellent listening skills and ability to empathize with others, knowledge of the Bible, ability to pray concise scriptural-based prayers, ability to communicate professionally, also some good computer skills, and comfortable working in a computer with a computer workstation, and finally just some strong reading comprehension skills. So those are the kind of the highlights, and we emphasize good customer experience, so all of this kind of ties into that. And what I'd like to do now is just to introduce you to Fonz, who has all these qualifications and is doing an excellent job here on the prayer line. So we really thank the Lord for his work and his dedication, his passion, and just like to turn it over to him that he can share his experience with you.
Thank you, John. Thanks everyone for being here. My name is Fonz Santiago, and I started with CBN in November of 2017. And I had been in corporate America, and I definitely, the environment is definitely different here. I can tell you that from the start. It's a different environment. But what I would like to say is that prior to coming to CBN and prior to even my time in the military and all the things I did, I went through so many different ups and downs in my life. And like a lot of us, we don't understand why we go through these struggles. We don't understand why we go through these ups and downs. And when I started working here, I started to realize what the Lord was doing in my life all that time. And I get to minister and talk to and pray with people who are going through the same things that I've gone through. And it's like the Lord really directs these calls. Like he just talks with people who struggled with finances, people who, struggled with marriages, who struggled with relationships and friendships. And there's all these calls that are coming in. And then on top of just, pouring into these people with scripture and love and the heart of Christ, we also get poured into. I mean, there's people who have worked here for 20 plus years, and they are just so immersed in the word. And, even when there's a day, you're having a hard day or something, school's hard, work's hard, you got everything going on. And, I can reach out to somebody like John, who's been like a mentor to me here, and just, he'll just give me a good word, or even chapel, as Diane mentioned, the chapel. Chapel is very refreshing. We do, worship and praise. We get a message. We get fed the word. So it's almost like working at church, like pretty much. So I had a great training experience. But what I would say is that I've applied the things that I've learned, the basics that I've learned, and I've allowed the callers to bless me just as much as I want to bless them. They bless you in return. So I would say this is an opportunity that you can do. I'm doing full-time work and full-time school, and I'm still making good grades. You know, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but you know, I got 4 A- and a B+ last semester. So, you know, I'm still making do with school because the schedule fits. So that's all I really want to say. I want to say if you're out there and you're looking at this opportunity and you're wondering, can it work with school? I'm going to say yes. And trust me, if I'm saying that, I think that can work for anybody. So thank you guys for your time. And if you guys have any questions for me, I'll be more than willing to answer those questions. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Fawn. Thank you very much. We're going to turn it right over to Tracy. I know we're kind of short on time, but Tracy, if you could kind of get some bullet points there on the other, the outbound fundraising.
Absolutely. Well, hello, everybody. And besides the partner service representative position, we have a couple of other positions that we often have openings for. And one is this outbound fundraising specialist or development specialist. And these folks really handle a lot of outbound calling for us, a lot of relationship building with partners and with prospective partners. And so it is a full-time position. This whole team is full-time. And one of the things they really like about it is it's Monday through Friday rather than the weekends that the PSR position does have to do. And it's definitely a different rate of pay there at $13.57 per hour. It is a little later in the day. So this is noon to 9. So if it's somebody who's either just finished their degree or is taking morning classes or online, you can do work whenever you need to. So these are folks that really can build relationships with people and really understand about giving and reciprocity and have a heart for helping build those relationships with people. These are part of the teams that I get to work with on a daily basis, and they have a fun team environment in working together. So those are positions that are open, and we've talked a little bit about the objective, but just to highlight, this is a position that is still ministry. We're still praying with a lot of people, but it definitely is a heightened awareness of fundraising. And so definitely these would be candidates who are comfortable with fundraising. It does not necessarily a sales background, but not having any hesitancy of somebody that has contacted the ministry, that we understand and have a passion for people giving into the ministry and giving toward the work of the Lord. So those are the candidates that we're looking for that type of position. And then we also have our social media team, and Rebecca's going to help tell us about that, but these are additional positions that are open where we have some part-time openings. And this team helps to engage our users on all of our social media and CBN.com sites, as well as moderating that. So Rebecca, if I can bring you into this a little bit and share a little bit about your experience with social media. Do we still have?
Yes.
There we go.
Hi, how are you guys? So happy to be here with you all and to get to talk to you about something that I'm actually very passionate about. I have been with CBN a little over a year. I started last April, and I've been in the social media position for about 8 months. And I started actually on the phone, so there's definitely the opportunity to transition into different departments to see, just what other ways the Lord could use you, or just other opportunities that you are wanting to take in similar areas of ministry. For me, I love working with social media because I think it is kind of like the next frontier. I think that social media is something that is just this up and coming thing, that just needs to be evangelized. It needs to be, we need to have a presence as believers online. So many people are spending so much more time online, whether it's older people or millennials or younger people. Like, we know that younger people are definitely a presence online, but I think it is definitely a place that we need to be sharing our faith, that we need to be encouraging people. I work specifically on the CBN news page. I am passionate about that because I love, one, being in the know, and then two, I actually experience a lot of growth, a lot of refining, in my faith, because I think it's really easy to have your opinion as a believer and to be passionate about communicating where you stand on scripture. And a lot of times I find myself actually extending grace and just wanting to be loving and teach people and bring them along, versus drawing hard, fast lines and, being so like, I want to correct you. It's more like, how can I love on you and bring you into this scripture in a way that's going to grow you, because the Lord is very gentle with the way that he teaches us. He corrects us, but in a loving way that causes us to grow, instead of a way that's just like, oh, I don't want to be on your pages, or I don't want to engage, in this community. And it really does become a community online. There are a lot of different pages to engage on. Like I said, I'm only on CBN News is just one of the pages that I get to work on. I'm also bilingual. I speak Spanish. So I get to help on some of the Spanish based pages. And I get to encourage, Spanish speakers as well. There is just a lot of opportunity. The department is very flexible with, especially students. It's an environment, like I have 10 years work history, all in customer service. But I think that what's so beautiful about working about CBN is that you can really be a believer. You're that's celebrated, who you are in Christ, and people are looking to allow you to be that light in your job, so that you can glorify the Lord and so that we can further what God is wanting to do through ministry. So if that does sound like something that you're interested in, I think you should definitely apply. I'm actually planning on going back to school, so I'm looking forward to continuing to grow with CBN. I don't know if you have any questions for me.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. We appreciate that. And again, I just want to thank everyone for this great opportunity. And we see that screen that said apply online at cbn.com/jobs if you are interested in any positions. Thank you, Brennan, and thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it. I will open up. If anyone has any questions, you can either type them in the chat box or or unmute yourself and ask them at this time. And if you think of a question later, you can always type it in the box or send it to careerservices@regent.edu and we'll reach out. But you can find out more information, including contact information, that sort of thing, on CareerLink as well. Is it all right if they reach out to you all by email if they have any questions?
Yes, that'll be fine.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I really appreciate it. And your slide presentation was great.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. God bless you guys.
All right, God bless you.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right. And let's see. Up next, we have Symmetry Financial. And let me just, there we go, Symmetry Financial. And Elijah, if you want to go ahead and I've unmuted your microphone, I believe.
Here we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Now, Brendan, how do I just hit share my screen and then I can pull up my little PowerPoint here?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Isn't it? It's the future.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to share my screen. There we go. Let's maximize this. All right. So are you guys seeing what I'm seeing here?
Yes.
Okay, let me put it in presentation mode.
We can see your screen.
All right, cool. So like Brendan said, my name is Elijah Carujo. I'm here representing Symmetry Financial Group, and I'm just here to talk a little bit about it and then share the opportunity to get involved. So just a little bit about who we are. We're an insurance brokerage agency that was founded by 3 guys who decided to leave the major corporate insurance beast. And They basically came out of it being tired of working ridiculous hours and not having the freedom to enjoy the fruits of their labor and spend time with their family and basically be able to control their career. And they left that to start a smaller insurance brokerage firm that served the employees as well as they did the customers. So they started in 2009, as you guys can see, and are now a nationwide company. I believe last year they grossed over $80 million in sales and are projected to hit $120 million this year. So a little bit about what we do. As an insurance brokerage agency, that sounds very complicated, but basically it's an insurance firm that sells insurance policies to families on behalf of major insurance companies like Mutual of Omaha, American Amicable, and Transamerica. Like, there's a ton. And we basically are the car dealership version of insurance, in the same way that car dealerships will sell Ford and Chevy and Toyota and all of these other brands to consumers. We do the same with insurance. So that's a little bit about who we are as a company. What we do as case workers and field underwriters like myself, we meet with families in person and help them find insurance that fits their specific needs with what they're wanting to do. It comes with a flexible schedule. You can kind of gear it around what your life looks like. The major objective is to serve and help families. And the importance of that is it helps them have the peace of mind knowing that they have a stability for their tomorrow in the case that tragedy should happen. That's kind of the bread and butter of what we do, and that is mortgage protection and life insurance. And as caseworkers and field underwriters, we operate as a representative between them and then the big insurance carriers like Mutual of Omaha and Transamerica and those guys. So a little bit about who we're looking for in employees. We're hiring for 2 different kinds of positions, part-time and full-time, obviously. This is just a little description of the part-time and full-time roles. These positions you can work in any state, just about. I believe there's some restrictions in New York, but you can pretty much take this job with you if you're a Regent student temporarily here as a student, and then you're going back home. This job, you can bring it with you, which is a really unique opportunity that was a big selling point for me. So as you can see, I hope, part-time is 2 to 3 days per week. And then there's the earnings. And what this looks like is sitting with 6 to 8 families at their kitchen table, kneecap to kneecap per week. And then from that, you will generate 2 to 4 applications. And that application is basically their policy that they're applying for insurance. And we assist them in not only finding that, but writing it and submitting it. And that's where we come in. Full-time is a little bit more as expected. It is not a typical 9 to 5 job or 9 to 9 job, even worse. It is 3 to 5 days per week. There's the earnings there. And then we suggest that is a little bit more, sitting with 12 to 15 families per week. And then from there, you generate 6 to 8 applications. Now, in this job, it's not a hourly or salary based. It's solely based off of what people are willing to put in, and they're paid based off of results. So that's kind of where these figures are generated, based off of the numbers that have become trends year after year, based off of employees' activity in this company. So there's a couple perks of working with Symmetry Financial Group. The big one is the purpose behind it, with helping people find solutions to life's obstacles. It's not a big push on sell. It's more of, how can I serve this family to get what they're needing, but not knowing how to get. It brings with it a work-life balance, which a lot of people strive for, but few people are able to find. You have the opportunity to be your own boss and build your own agency while helping families. There are quite literally unlimited growth opportunities. You also have the ability, like I said previously, to work in other states. You can work in Virginia. I have a buddy that works in Delaware and Virginia. You can pretty much take this job with you. There's a lot of flexibility. It's not like you're just working from a laptop hopping from Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi. You're meeting with families, and with that, you can work. There's a lot of flexibility with that. And then my favorite thing about this is the mentorship and personal growth benefit that comes with this job. For me, the company culture was a massive perk and benefit that I didn't realize until I started getting a little bit more involved. This company is really big on growing as an individual, because in doing that, you not only benefit as a team member, but also you do better at the job in helping the families that we're seeking to help. So with that mentorship, you have what we like to call an upline, or for me, it's a good friend of mine. He's the one who kind of took me under his wing. I got hired through him, and he's the guy I call 3 to 4 times a day with tons of questions. I meet with him and get the help I need to grow not only as an individual, but also as a caseworker, field underwriter in this business. So you gain access to a lot of really quality mentorship through Symmetry Financial Group. We have a lot of really great training through podcasts and recordings on SoundCloud and weekly conference calls with people from all over the U.S., as well as we do a book of the month every month. Last month, we read a book on emotional intelligence. This month, we're reading a book on the importance of energy. I believe it's called Energy Bus, and employing that into your life. So there's a lot of different dynamics of things that the leadership pulls from to develop us as individuals, and in turn helping us do what we do well at this job. So there's a couple different requirements of what's required. I just thought of one that's not on here. You have to be 18. You have to have an insurance license that we can help you get, because you have to be legal. You have to have a work ethic. Lazy people don't really do well in this job. So a work ethic and a desire to really push yourself is required. A teachable and positive mindset is also needed, because it is quite the learning curve. And it is not easy, but it is incredibly rewarding. So a positive mindset is essential. A self-starting, motivated personality and attitude would be really great in this job. Transportation, like I said, you're needing to meet with family, so you got to be able to drive there. And a cell phone to call people. So these are the basic requirements of what a new hire would be asked to have upon joining the Symmetry Financial Group team. So next steps are you can book an interview with me personally. That's my cell phone number, 757-593-2201, or you can shoot me an email at elijahcrujo@icloud.com. There's a lot of really great info on the Symmetry Financial Group website to learn a little bit more about the company. I don't have a ton of time, otherwise I'd get into it. But I would love to answer any questions people have about this. Are there any questions? Hello?
And if you have a question, you can go ahead and type it in the chat box, or if you move your mouse around, you'll see a microphone in the bottom left-hand corner, and you can click that and unmute yourself to ask the question.
Okay. Am I still sharing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, if you want to end the share, just move your mouse and you'll see the little red stop share at the top, toward the top of the screen.
Cool. Perfect. All right. Any questions?
You talked a little bit about what it takes. Definitely not a lazy person, an assertive person, someone who's driven, positive attitude.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there like that who might be intimidated by this. So tell me a little bit about what your experience has been like, and some things that you've done to kind of get acclimated to the world of being able to sell.
Oh yeah. So the cool part about this job is it seems like it's a big sell job. And at first I was kind of attracted to it, but I realized I personally am an awful salesman. I just don't do well at trying to get somebody to buy something that they don't want. And that's the cool part about this job with what's required is we're not pushing something that people don't want. and we're trying to get them to buy it. But really, we're helping families buy what they already want and even more so need. So we're not selling anything, but rather helping and assisting in the buying process. How I got acclimated was I eased into it a little bit. Like I went in with, I already had a part-time job and I wanted to get experience with it. So I got involved, but I didn't dive in head first. And then when I realized the incredible potential behind it, I put in my 2 weeks notice and came through here. One of the great ways that I also got acclimated was the constant communication aspect of this job. A big motto we have here is massive action, constant correction. And you take a lot of action early on as a new person. And then through that, you're corrected to learn. Not like scolded or anything like that, but almost like that's where the mentorship comes in and the communication. And I got acclimated by being in constant communication with my upline, Grant Reynolds. And I would call him 6, 7, sometimes 8 times a day, ask him a ton of questions. We would do training over the phone. I met with him in person. We would work together as a team with the other members that are with us. And we would have training days, dial days, call days. We would get one-on-one mentorship lessons, and seeing how well he was doing and then getting that feedback and one-on-one work with him helped me get acclimated big time to do well and to learn how to grow in this business.
Nice.
Great question, by the way, Brendan. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Now, I am a salesperson at heart.
No. Yeah, you are.
I can sell anything, but I enjoy selling things that I know about and that I enjoy and that I see the benefit of. So what do you like about the product?
That is also a great question. So coming into this business, I knew this much about insurance, this much about mortgage protection, and this much about life insurance. And the training provided, I would say is probably one of the most insightful courses I've ever taken. It's very difficult, but I learned the value of what we help people buy through that. And I'm sorry, could you say your question again one more time, Brendan?
Yeah, what's your favorite thing about the product?
Favorite thing about the product? Okay, so mortgage protection, let me just do a quick little Spark Notes version of what mortgage protection is. It's an insurance policy on the family's ability to pay their mortgage. So it basically protects the value of people's homes, arguably one of the most valuable assets families have, in the case of a death of the main income earner. So a family of 4, if they have a mortgage protection policy and the father passes away unexpectedly, gets, Lord forbid, hit by a drunk driver or something like that, it happens. A mortgage protection policy comes in and keeps them from going bankrupt and protects their mortgage and ability to pay off their mortgage, and it buys them time to where they don't have to worry about that. And for me, I saw the need of it because people go bankrupt, lose jobs, sometimes even go homeless off of another tragedy that happened because they didn't have the coverage that they were needing. So to see the incredible impact that a product like that could have, and having the ability to find it at a reasonable price and work with people's budgets to get what they're needing at a price that works and not raking them over the coals for it, to me brought in the purpose. And I'm a very purpose-driven person. I'm not going to go out and sell a bunch of crap that no one needs, because to me, I would be terrible at that. But seeing the purpose and the value of what this is helps me serve families really well. And just a quick example, just a couple hours ago, I was meeting with a family that I helped write a policy for. And the lady didn't think she could get insurance because she had like diabetes and heart problems and high blood pressure, and she was a smoker. So she didn't think she could get insurance. But I was able to work with her to get coverage, way more coverage than she was anticipating, for a price that she didn't think was possible. And then I got to see the look of relief on her face that when she goes, when she goes, she doesn't have to worry about her family. And it's a hard conversation, but a needed conversation that few people have, that we kind of facilitate and help.
All right. Well, I'll just ask one quick last question.
Yeah.
I know that one of the things is you needed transportation.
Yeah.
How does that work? Do you write the mileage off then for tax purposes? Is that how it works?
That's almost exactly how it works. We keep track of mileage as well as gas expenses, and we're all reimbursed for that. And you can write it as like a tax write-off.
Oh, you're reimbursed for the mileage.
Not bad phrasing. Not reimbursed, but you keep track of it and you write it off as like a tax
expense.
As a business expense.
Okay, cool. Well, Elijah, thank you so much for taking the time to share this with us.
Absolutely.
And the recording of this will be available to anyone who might want to watch it later.
All right. And does anybody? I should probably show the
contact information again.
Yeah, let me do that real quick so that if anybody's wanting to take notes.
Actually, could you just type it in the text box and that way it'll be there for the meeting?
Great idea. Yeah, I'm just putting in right now.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Elijah.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Brennan. And I hope you guys have a great day.
Oh, you too. And up next, we have Pine Cove Camp in Texas.
Yeah. Thanks, Brennan. Hey, I'm Grant Seifried. I work for Pine Cove. We are let me go ahead and just screen share this. We're a Christian camp. We exist in 3 different regions. Hold on. I'm trying to get this up.
Screen share.
Boom.
Awesome.
We up. Brennan, will you let me know? Are you seeing my screen now?
Yes. I can see your screen. And if you do have a video to share, just make sure when you create that screen share that you check off share computer audio and optimize for video. It's 2 little check boxes at the bottom of the dialog box.
Where's my little play button? I'm not seeing our... Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to the present mode.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Okay, so like I said, I'm Grant Seifried with Pine Cove. Pine Cove is a Christian camp. We've got 3 different regions that we're operating in. We have 11 camp properties and then another 10 traveling day camps that exist from Texas all the way out to South Carolina. I wanted to start with this, like when someone ever asks what Pine Cove is like, one of our video interns from a previous year made this video. And so I'm going to go ahead and share this video, and Brennan, we'll try to make sure this...
Awesome. I'll give you a thumbs up if I can hear it.
We go together.
Is that going through for you guys?
There's never been a mountain that is not taller when climbed alone. Nor has there been a summit that isn't sweeter when it's seen with shared sight.
Brennan, are you getting that video and audio?
Together,
yes.
We have seen the spot where heaven meets earth, and have run with eyes closed and arms open, hoping we can reach him. Picking up the fallen down, cheering on the fading heart, carrying on open shoulder whoever's turn it is to be broken down. I will always be better beside my brothers. Stronger standing with my sisters. And I refuse to lower my standards to be satisfied with such a short sprint that I'd be able to pull it off on my own. Do you want to go fast? Go alone. But to go far, we must come together. Together we're much more than the sum of our parts. Together we're much more than the sum of our hearts. Together our hearts magnify and multiply, making our love grow strong, making our patience grow long, making our passion not stop short at just a spark. But together we start the wildfire that no single one of us could ever claim to start. Come bring your blood, sweat, and tears, doubts and fears. Trade them in for a glory too great for our hands to hold alone. I can feel my heart beat in my chest, tapping out in Morse code. You were made for this. You were always made for more than the hope that only your heart could hold. You were always meant for more than all the glory you could earn on your own. You were never meant for less than standing hand in hand. And if I fall, I know you have my back because heaven has our hearts. Where we go together. We've never been better than when we're together. Where we go together. We've never been better than when we're together.
Great. So the reason I want to start with that video is we've had so many of our former staff, when they saw that video, their response was like, you finally captured what my experience was like at Pine Cove. This is, our ministry, we exist in a lot of different places, but our motto is that we're Christ-centered, we're others-focused, and we're seriously fun. And that's something that I think really describes how we go about what we do, which is Christian camping. So we have a lot of different opportunities when it comes to like what it looks like to work in the summer. We have over 1,800 college students that are working for us this summer. Next year, we're going to be looking for closer to 1,900. We have a 40% retention rate, so we're always looking for around 1,000 new college staff to join us each summer. But those opportunities exist at family camps, at youth camps, and then we have a traveling day camp. And so there's even within that, we'll get into what the roles look like at camp in just a bit. But I would tell you that if someone is asking what we're all about and why we do what we do, it is so that the gospel can be proclaimed. And we get to do that in the context of just this process of people pulling away from their normal, going to a camp setting, whether that's a physical camp property or our traveling day camps partner with different churches across the nation, basically running what is kind of traditionally called a vacation Bible school. We just do it Pine Cove style. But basically allowing people to remove themselves from the normal context and just experience God in a new way. And so regardless of what our staff are doing, what they are doing this summer is pouring their life out, whether that's as a cook or a lifeguard or a counselor. And all of that is so that the gospel can be proclaimed and lives can be truly transformed by the Lord. I'll go ahead and move to the next slide. We expect a lot from our employees, and it's let me see if I can change the orientation of this so that you guys are what we are expecting. Like, first of all, you need to love Jesus. If that's not you, then there's plenty of other camps and other opportunities that would be a fit, but it's not going to work at Pine Cove if you're not passionate about Jesus and his gospel. The other thing that we really harp on is the servant attitude. We exist to serve these campers and to serve the Lord. So one of our rallying cries and what we train hard at Pine Cove is that it's not about you. It's about the Lord and it's about other people. And it's one of the things that our staff walk away with when they talk about the life transformation that happened to them. Often their experience is, I've just never lived so radically for other people in my life. And I won't be the same. Like, this was the first time I was really held to that standard. And now I've tasted what it's like to be about something other than just myself and my world. I would say something else we expect is, like, you got to be fun. Like, it's camp. We talk often about, we get a week with these campers, sometimes 2 weeks, depending on the opportunity they're engaging with us in. That's not a lot of time. And at the same time, the Lord created the earth in 7 days. So we know that he can literally transform worlds and kingdoms in that time. But we do it through breaking down walls, through crazy activities, really fun skits and games, and just high energy people. So you don't have to be an outgoing person, but you got to be ready to have a lot of fun if you want to work at Pine Cove. The other thing that you could expect, or that we expect from our employees, our staff is our program. And this is another pillar for us, that it doesn't matter what activities we have. It doesn't matter, we have slick tracks and we have wake parks and we have all these different ropes elements and just cool things that campers can do to bring them and get them to property, because they think that's what's going to be the most fun and just meaningful for their week. And every time, when campers leave and when they ride on their evals, what they talk about that was most impactful, the funniest things that happened to them, the best experience they had, it is almost always around the staff that they're interacting with. And so we have come to just believe and really lean on the fact that if we don't hire the best college students, then our program is going to suffer. And so we spend a tremendous amount of time finding the right college students to hire at Pine Cove. This past year, we had over 4,000 applications for less than 1,000 new staff position spots. So we're really selective in who we're trying to go after, because to us, that is more important than the equipment we have, than the games we're playing. It's if we have the right people. The other thing that you can expect if you come to Pine Cove is we're going to put a lot of responsibility on you. And we really, this was something that I experienced when I was a former college student working at Pine Cove. I was trusted with a lot, and it felt like way too much to me. It was I don't know if I'm capable of this. I don't know if I really can handle the responsibility that's just been given to me. And when I would talk to my director about it, he was like, that's exactly where we want you to be, because we know that if you think you can do this on your own, the Spirit of God is not going to move through you. But if you realize that you cannot change this kid's heart, or you can't muster up any more strength because you've been doing this for 4 weeks and you're just exhausted, but you're waking up and you need to pour your life into these campers, for another day, it's the Spirit of God that is going to sustain you and support you. It's His joy that's going to be your strength. And so at Pine Cove, what you can expect is, man, we are going to go hard and we are going to have a lot of fun, but you are going to be exhausted. And it's a time that a lot of our staff say it's the first time they ever felt like they truly were drained of everything they had, and started to finally relate to what Paul talked about of, I am pouring my life out as a drink offering, and recognizing that's only the Spirit of God that can sustain us and do work in us and through us. So that's something you can expect. The other thing I would say, and you saw this in our video, and this is what our employees can expect from us. Let me go ahead and move to the next slide. You can expect community. And I think that's something that, you can look at this, it's just a reality that whenever you do something really challenging and something that is outside of what is just important to you, but rallying to a bigger mission and a bigger cause, that the Lord has created us to draw together with other people in that process. And so there is a depth of community that is formed at Pine Cove that is just hard to explain. And we often will tell new staff when they first show up on property, we'll get everybody in a huddle and we just say, hey, take a look around, because the people standing in this circle, chances are high that half of the groomsmen in your wedding are going to be in this circle, and that half of the bridesmaids that you might have in this wedding, in your wedding, are going to be standing here with you today. We just see that there are bonds that are formed that just are lifelong friendships, and it's because we are hiring amazing, God-loving and Jesus-loving people that want to pour their life out. And whenever they meet each other, there's just a connection there. But it's also because of that fact we were talking about earlier. It's just one load too many. We cannot do this alone. And so there's a real depth as we lean on each other to see the Lord do amazing things in our campers' lives. The other thing you can expect is spiritual growth and discipleship. Our camp directors, they often describe themselves when people ask about their job. Instead of saying, hey, I'm an elementary camp director, they describe themselves as a college pastor, because the reality is we know that if we invest in our college students, that they are the ones that are actually doing ministry to our campers. And so the model we have at Pine Cove is that we are going to pour deeply and hard into our college students so that they are filled and equipped to pour out their lives to our campers. And that is literally the model that we see in Scripture. Jesus empowering and serving and pouring his life into that immediate sphere of the 12 so that they could go change the world and multiply that effect. And that's what you can see at Pine Cove. The other thing I would tell you that we have just started seeing a lot more of our former staff talking about is the professional skills that they're gaining at Pine Cove. And what's interesting is that more and more, I'm reading more articles by Google, by Apple, all these leading industry, even tech firms, in investment firms, when they are talking about who they're promoting and who they want to hire in a job application, the education that you need to get, a college degree, if you're going to be an accountant, that is a barrier to entry. If you don't have that, then you don't even get a job interview. But once it comes to getting the interview, they're looking for leaders, and they're looking for people who know how to work with teams, and they're looking for people who know how to manage conflict, and they know how to interact with people that are not easy to get along with. And all of those soft skills, that is what is now in this job market setting people apart from one another. And that's what so many of our former alumni or our former staff keep coming back to us and saying, look, I'm now running my own company. I want to hire Pine Cove staff. Can you send me more of your staff? Because I'm realizing like the kids and the students and anyone that is coming out of this Pine Cove system, they understand how to lead. They understand how to engage. They understand how to just network and be about other people and not just themselves. And so there's a lot of like what we're recognizing. We are just trying to be gospel centered and be all about what we see in scripture and apply that to camp. But come to find out that that's exactly what the world is craving in their future leaders is humble, servant-hearted, and just people-oriented leaders. So that's something you could expect. I would say the other thing that you can expect is we now have like over 17,000 alumni that have worked at Pine Cove. We've existed for 50 years, so there's a huge staff base and camper base, and there is just an unbelievable loyalty to Pine Cove for anyone that has come here. And so our family campers, the parents of our youth campers, our former staff, they are beating our door down trying to hire our former staff because of what I just talked about, the life change that happens, the professional skills that are being groomed and developed. And so we've just now in the last 2 years kicked off this alumni network, but we're already seeing full-time jobs, internships. Like there's just so many opportunities that finally we're able to be that connection point. But I would just tell you it's a really powerful network to be in. And then the last thing I would say that you could expect working at Pine Cove is it's just the summer of a lifetime. Like we really do believe like what we try to do in recruiting new staff is make sure that the staff that we have, that we are pouring our lives into them and that they are truly transformed in the summer, because we are recognizing more and more in this generation, there are so many job opportunities. If you want to go make a buck, there are plenty of things you could do down the street. But if you want your life transformed, if you want community, if you want real impactful life change, those things are things that this generation is craving and they're just not finding everywhere. And so we are recognizing, man, that is our bread and butter. That is what we have done for 50 years, and that's what we'll continue to do as we grow. And so you can expect that from your time at Pine Cove. So I mentioned earlier, we're in 3 different regions. We started in East Texas in Tyler, just 2 hours east of Dallas. That's where we were for the first probably 35 years. And then we, 15 years ago, expanded into Central Texas, kind of in between Austin and Houston. In East Texas, we have 6 property camps, all within a few miles of each other, and then 4 traveling day camps. In Central Texas, we have 4 property camps and then 4 traveling day camps. And then out in South Carolina, we just opened our first camp in that area in 2017. So last year, we have a family camp called Chimney Point that's out there, and we have 2 traveling day camp teams hubbed out of South Carolina. So for especially all of our regents, universities, like staff or potential staff, I should say, I know the South Carolina region, we hadn't recruited much at Regent because we hadn't been out in that area for too long, but we're excited. We already have hired a few Regent staff, and we're loving them so far, which is why we're wanting to come and do this career fair with you guys. Let me go ahead. I'm going to click this link. I can show you more of our positions. So working at camp, a lot of times people just think of being a counselor, which is true. That's probably 40 to 50% of our staff are counselors. But as you like keep looking, and this is just me looking at our website, we've got a lot of different like activities that are available through Pine Cove. So we always need instructors for those or for those activities. So right here, you can see a guy doing what we call a one wheel. We've got wake parks. We've got high ropes activities. We've got a lot on water. So we've got lakes or, ponds or wherever we like, depending on the property. So we have boat drivers. We also have what we call a wrangler, which is someone just working with horses. So if you actually don't really have to have that much horse experience. So if you're wanting to make an adventure to Texas, or Chimney Point, they have horses out there too. But this is a big hit with the kids. They love taking a horse ride. Ropes course instructors, lifeguards. We also, that video you saw, and we're going to show you another one soon. That video is something that our videographer interns shot for Pine Cove. So it was just hey, if you could capture Pine Cove in 2 minutes, what it's like being a staffer, what would it look like? And they came up with that video, and you can see how high quality that was. So we've got a great videography team. We also need people to be leading worship at every camp. So whether that's playing the drums or like actually like singing, leading guitar. There are also a lot of stuff that we do. We have an app at Pine Cove that allow parents to see in real time what's going on with their kids. And so we have like every camp, there's like a team that's managing the social media for that camp. They're taking pictures of kids, they're tagging them and uploading them to that app. We also have, if you're a nursing major, we have a registered nurse on property at every camp, but they have a team of health assistants that are helping them just provide care to our campers. And so it's a great chance to get some nursing hours or just kind of volunteer hours as you're preparing to go into either nursing school or graduate programs. We also have a whole team of people that are doing different administrative tasks. So if you're like, hey, I love the idea of camp, but I'm not your like up front in front of people, like I want to be like leading the charge. Like if you're more of I want to help empower those people. There's a lot of different roles at camp that help support our full-time staff and even some of our college staff. So that's available. And then if you're just a guy or a girl that just loves to work hard and like, hey, give me some projects and I want to crank, we've got a work crew that just helps behind the scenes making camp happen. So one of the questions that we wanted to answer for you guys is like, hey, do I get paid for this? You do. We provide, if you're working at camp, the opportunity is one half of the summer. So the first half or the second half, we do have some positions that are full summer as well. Depending on how long you're working, you can see that salary range. It just would depend on the number of weeks you're working. But what we always talk about is like, hey, you're going to be on property for 6 of your 7 days every week. So your housing is paid for, your meals are completely paid for by Pine Cove, and then you'd have a 24-hour period off every weekend while we're sending off our old campers and welcoming the next ones for the new week. So that being said, we always laugh about we're not going to pay you a ton, but we also don't give you a lot of time to spend that money. So a lot of our staff laugh that they actually make more money because they don't have a chance to spend it by the time the summer's over. The other thing that we do is a sibling discount. So if you're on summer staff, any of your siblings can get 50% off their time at camp. So let me jump back over to this presentation. Some other just benefits. We mentioned earlier the alumni network, but the spiritual investment, discipleship, just the relationships. I would tell you this, it probably, you already know if you're an ideal candidate for us or not, you've got to love Jesus. You've got to be someone who's grown in your faith and just wants to have a ton of fun. If you're teachable and humble, we've got a place for you. And so if you're looking for, I'm going to go ahead and skip this video because I know we're running short on time. If you're looking for a place to work, you can apply here. Our application for summer 2019 is going to go live in August of this year. So you can just visit this website, or if you have any more questions, you can email us at summerjobs@pinecove.com. So I appreciate your time, guys. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll take any questions if there are. All right. And of course, you can follow up with this opportunity through the website. You have the contact information and everything you need. So thank you so much for joining us all the way from Texas.
Hey, thanks, Brennan. I appreciate it.
All right. I'll send you a link to the video of this when it's the presentation's over.
Great. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. And up next, we have Chesterfield County, and I believe Shonda is there. And I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, Shonda. How are you doing? Let's see. I can't hear you, so I don't know if you move your mouse around. You can choose an audio option. You can also choose to dial into the presentation as well. And I can provide that dial-in information. I will share that to everyone. So it's 646-558-8656. And then our meeting ID is 626-185-774, and you'll see that in the chat. Oh, okay, nice. So you can email them directly at summerjobs@pinecove.com. That's our last presenter here. And of course, these opportunities will probably also be open in CareerLink. I will go ahead and pull that up and demonstrate what that looks like. While we wait for Shonda to join the call. All right, and of course, if you've ever used CareerLink, you would log in as a student. Go ahead and see if this works. Oh, it does. Nice. And we have employers here on the left-hand side. You can go to the employer directory and then type in the name of the employer that you are looking for. So we'll see. There we go. Find out more about them, including their address and phone number. And I know now we have Chesterfield coming up. Oh, there they are. Let's see, Shonda, were you able to dial into the meeting? Oh, hey, Shonda. All right, so what we'll do is we'll take a quick overlook here at Chesterfield County because I know they are looking for some specific positions while we wait for them to join the conversation here. Oh, okay, here we go. Hey, Shonda.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Sorry, we were trying to get you on the laptop, but it wasn't working.
Oh, okay. Were you able to dial in?
Yeah, that's what we had to do.
Oh, okay, good.
But
Nice.
I'm getting a little feedback, so I might sound a little slow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I noticed the feedback was there, but I think it's gone away.
I think I'm getting an echo on my side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Zoom does a pretty good job of mitigating that, so we don't hear the echo. Do you have a presentation to share? Or would you like me to share my screen?
You can share your screen. That'll be great.
Okay. All right, we have your employer count up here, but right now we'll go to our questions for each employer. And we will, let's see, hopefully everyone can see my screen. But yeah, so Shonda, first tell me a little bit about Chesterfield County.
Okay. Well, again, there's an echo on my end, so. But Chesterfield.
Oh, you know what? Maybe if you mute your computer volume, that would probably take care of it. So yeah, if you mute your computer, you'll be okay.
Okay. All right. So everyone can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, Chesterfield County, we're located right outside of Richmond. And we're a pretty big county in Virginia. We're not far from Virginia Beach itself. We're a local government, again, right outside the Richmond area. I don't know where the...
Do you still hear yourself?
Yeah, so I
Okay,
feel like
yeah.
I'm
Did you
talking to
mute-
me.
Oh, did you mute your computer speakers?
I did. We're still
Huh.
working on it a little bit.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, because you'll probably hear an echo if anybody else has joined into the meeting and you can hear the speakers. Oh, let's see. Now you're muted. All right, there we go.
All right. Well, we have over 50 departments within the county. So we have several positions. They range from a variety of things. So regardless of what students are interested in, regardless of what their major is, we pretty much have something that would apply to them. If someone is interested in parks and recreation, that's one of our biggest departments. If someone is interested in doing something as far as biology, we have laboratories across the county that look into things like water quality, things of that nature. If someone is interested in accounting, we have things, we have definitely something for them. We have a lot of departments that cater to the finances across the county. So purchasing, accounting, things of that nature, budget management. If someone is interested in politics, we have, or political science, we have county administration. We also have offices that have elected officials in place, so the treasurer's office, the commissioner of revenue, things of that nature. If someone is interested in HR, we have an HR department also. Some of our bigger departments are social services and mental health support services. So if anyone was interested in going to a field where they help those with disabilities, or if they're interested in helping people get the services they need as far as with community-based programs, you can go more to the human services field. So we have a little bit of something for just about everybody. If you're into, what a lot of people don't realize is that county government, it actually caters to a lot of people in a lot of different ways. You have the public safety sector. So that's your police and your sheriff and your fire department, along with the emergency 911 communication officers. So all of those cater to the safety of those that live in Chesterfield County. We also have the libraries. So those that are interested in library sciences, we have several libraries across the county as well. And for those that are interested more on the business side of things, we have a lot of departments such as building inspection. We have environmental engineering. So if people are into engineering, we do have environmental engineering. We have transportation as well. We also have a general services department, intergovernmental relations, juvenile. We have one of the largest juvenile detention homes within Virginia. I believe it's the second or third largest. So if you're interested in anything in that sector, we do have that as well as the courts, juvenile and domestic relations court, victim witness program, utilities. We also have management services. So a plethora of departments that just serve a lot of different needs that employees or potential employees have. So a lot of people, especially coming right out of college, they do like to look at places like local government because it's a great way to get your foot in the door, and it's a great path to start you on your career venture, I guess you could say. As I mentioned, it has over 50 departments. So once you get into the county, you're able to really see firsthand, get that firsthand experience of what people do in their day-to-day, in their roles, understand how different roles interact, understanding what the work is behind the title. And then you can see, maybe I do want to go that route. Maybe I want to go a different route as far as my career path. I thought I was interested in this type of work, but I think I feel more inclined to do this type of work. So it really helps you see firsthand what different positions do. Where could you go that would allow your education to be most beneficial? Where could you go that could really just tie in to what your interests are, what your beliefs are? So it's a really great place to start out because it allows you to network. For instance, we do things called Meet the Departments, which are basically opportunities for employees to meet individuals of other departments and understand what each department does. So you get great experience here, that firsthand experience you really wouldn't get anywhere else. In public sector businesses, a lot of them are catered to one specific area. So we serve a lot of different needs within the county to the residents of Chesterfield County. So you're not siloed into just doing one part of the business. You can see all parts of the business and really apply your education experience in those different areas. So it's really helpful. I'm also a proud Regent student myself, and I'm very proud to be in local government. We also do internships as well. However, those occur every summer. So we are currently in our internship season. But I would recommend, if anyone's interested in internships, our website is a key source to take a look at job opportunities. Also, when we're accepting intern applications, usually at the beginning of each year, you could take a look to get information on that as well. And if you just wanted to really understand and see more about local government and how it works, our website gives you that information also.
Nice. How would you describe Chesterfield as an area?
I'm sorry, as a what?
What kind of area is it? Is it rural? Is it urban? Is it a mix of both?
Oh, definitely a mix of both. They're doing a lot of development around Chesterfield County right now. So we have I believe we just did a sportsplex, and we have a water park coming soon, things of that nature. But they are building up, so we do have new businesses around. We have an economic development group that they really work to bring businesses into Chesterfield County. That's also another one of our departments. And we have big name companies such as Amazon recently moved here, Sabra, who makes wonderful hummus. They're headquartered down here as well. So a lot of big things are happening in the Chesterfield County area. We just recently got a nice brand spanking new Krispy Kreme not too many years ago. So that should be enticing. But it's a good mix. And we're right next to Richmond. So within about 15, 20 minutes, you're right there smack dab in the center of Richmond. So it's very close to the city, the inner city, downtown as you call it. And then you also have a good mix of urban as well.
Okay. And what's cool about government is, of course, you can see what is budgeted for each position. So if you are interested in what a job offers, you can kind of figure out what is available. And so it sounds like there's a wide variety of opportunities available. What do you like about working for a municipal government?
I enjoy the fact that I know that my position caters to supporting the residents of Chesterfield County. So we always tell people that the citizens are really our bosses. That's who we cater everything towards. We try to give them the best service possible. So regardless of what role you're in, it should be heavily focused on how does this impact the public? How does this impact the residents of Chesterfield County? So every day you're working towards helping the families and those that live within the county. So it's just a good type of feeling you walk away from when you do a job such as local government. Also, as I mentioned before, it's just a great way to network and see firsthand how different positions interact. You know, if you're interested in environmental engineering, or if you just want to know how a road is designed, you have access to that. If you want to understand how homes are assessed as far as real estate assessments, you have access to that information. The classes they provide, it's a wonderful learning environment. We have a learning and performance center that's available to all employees. So with the click of a button, they're able to access just a myriad of online learning programs as well as in-class learning programs. So just because you graduated doesn't mean you have to stop educating yourself or building yourself up. We continue to do employee development. We want you to become more educated as far as certain things in the professional world. Now that you've got your scholastic learning, you know, how can you build yourself up professionally? So we do things like that. If you want to get more into business writing, things of that nature, or just, you know, conflict resolution, and we offer certificate programs. So it's just a really good place to develop people. And not everything you learn professionally, of course, you can apply to your personal life as well. So it's really beneficial all the way around.
And how would you describe, an ideal candidate for your organization?
Just anyone who is willing to work. All of us here, we have a strong ethical policy. So as long as you're customer service centered and you have strong ethics, I think it's a great place to work. We do really tie that in, reinforce that here at the county. Again, we have so many positions and so many departments that we have something that will suit anybody. No matter what your need is as far as a career, we have something that will tie into what it is you're looking to do. There are so many things available, from risk management all the way to community enhancement, even to youth development services, things like that. So this is information and resources, no matter if it's customer service all the way up to being in the county administrator's office. There's something for everybody here.
And if people want to find out more of what is available, where should they go?
I would definitely recommend that they look at our website. It has a majority of our information, and that website is www.chesterfield.gov. We have a careers webpage. We also have a page that gives you information about volunteering. If you're interested in volunteering with the county, that's where the information will be posted about the internship program that'll begin again next summer. It also provides information about the county in general and also the departments. And as you showed earlier, you can actually look up information on certain positions as well. So if you wanted to learn more about what are the duties of certain positions, you can actually look that up prior to even applying for it.
Do you know about how many openings there are right now?
Right now, we have, let's see here. Our listing gets updated every other week, by the way. So our listing was just updated this past Monday. So we'll update again in the Monday after next. So every other Monday, our listing is updated. So as of right now, our current listing, let's see here. We have quite a bit of full-time positions. We only have about 6 part-time positions and a couple open continuous, but we do have a lot of full-time positions that range from maintenance workers, if you're more in the service industry, legal secretaries. We actually have a chemist position open. So as I mentioned, even if you're into the sciences, we do have chemists who work here. We also have psychiatrists who work here as well. Currently, we have a senior budget analyst, a senior engineer, a senior accounting technician, a case manager. So if there's anyone who is interested in, once again, a human services type of position, also residential counselors, case managers, recovery coach, peer support specialist, family services supervisor. We also are hiring currently for an assistant director, tax assessment specialist, opioid outreach coordinator, an employment specialist, principal engineer, a human resources analyst, and a principal compensation analyst as well. And those are just for the full-time positions. And again, that listing will be updated the Monday after this one coming up, so on June 18th.
Nice. Is it listed on your website, the specific positions?
Correct. So if you're on the website, chesterfield.gov, you can click on How Do I, you can click on Apply for a Job, and it will give you the current listing of all of our vacancies.
Okay.
And from there, you can apply directly from the website. I always encourage people, if they're applying for a job, to definitely take your time with the application. Your first time through, it may take a little while to complete, but after that, the NeoGov application system will house your information. So it will save everything you put into the system. So the next time you apply, most of your information is already there.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Shonda, for sharing about all of these different open positions. If anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box, or you can find more about it at chesterfield.gov/careers. And this presentation will be available. We'll send the link out when it's done. But Shonda, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. All right, and up next, we have Sarah Boone with Hampton Schools. Sarah, how are you?
How are you doing today, Brennan?
Oh, good.
Okay, I do have a screen to share. I do have a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, so I'll stop sharing mine, and now you can share yours.
Let's see if I can get into mine. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to start off today just a little bit of introduction. I am coming from Hampton City Schools. I'm currently the recruiter for pre-K through 12th grade. So start off, what do we expect here at Hampton City Schools? Since we are a school district that is teacher focused and student focused, one of our first things is regular attendance. We have students that we serve, that we teach every day, and without punctual and regular attendance, we cannot ensure that our students are being reached and that the information is being disseminated properly. Secondly, we have and we expect the dedication to providing a safe and nurturing environment. We have students that come from all different graphics, socioeconomic backgrounds, walks of life. So we want to provide a safe and nurturing environment that fosters education and fosters learning. We also foster integrity, responsibility, innovation, excellence, and we are highly dependent on professionalism. It must be shown at all times, even from the professional level of teachers all the way up to administration. My educators here that work for us, we expect them to have a commitment to students and their learning. We are so student focused here that student learning is #1 in our books. There is nothing else I think that matters more than making sure and ensuring that they are learning and passing and progressing through Hampton City Schools through their time here. We're also really big on making sure that our educators have subject matter knowledge. A lot of the ways that we are able to ensure that is through licensure through the state of Virginia, and then also through professional development that we actually offer as teachers matriculate through our school district. One of the biggest things that we offer to our teachers and our educators here is a commitment and to assistance in supporting them. And when we say support, we're talking about all different levels, both personally and professionally. We're really big on work-life balance and making sure that work does not overwhelm your home life. And then also professional development for teachers as individuals. We take a lot of time to look at our educators to see where they're starting at and exactly where they want to go on their career path. And through that, we try to help them attain it. Okay, next for our current vacancies, we have vacancies here at our district at different levels. Starting off with elementary, we have a number of vacancies for teachers, pre-K through 6, so going all the way from the pre-K classroom to the 6th grade classroom. Outside of that, we do have vacancies in our special education department, and we go through vacancies for adapted curriculum, general curriculum, inclusion, and different areas that fall under special education. At our secondary level, which is our 6th through 12th grade level, we have a number of vacancies, as you can see, in math, foreign language, social sciences, social studies, the sciences. Right now, we have a few vacancies in biology and chemistry, English, nursing, and history courses. And as far as our administration is concerned, we have vacancies right now at a number of our elementary and middle schools for assistant principal openings. Next, what is our ideal candidate? Well, here at HCS, we have what we call Portrait of an Educator. So our Portrait of an Educator is how and what we expect from our educators here in our district. And we're just going to go through a few things that cover that. So HCS employees, we employ educators that are professional and committed to students and their learning. We expect to have educators that know their subjects that they teach and how to teach those subjects to students that come from all different learning backgrounds. Our educators here are members of what we call our learner communities and are committed to growth. These learner communities sometimes consist of educators that are transitioning into the administration route, and then educators that are just working and bouncing off ideas from other educators to ensure that their classrooms are growing at a great level. And then our educators are responsible for managing and monitoring student learning. So what that means is not only are you responsible for student learning, but you are responsible for monitoring the progression of student learning, identifying any deficiencies that are in that process and making sure that they are caught and they are corrected before our students progress. Some of the benefits of working for HCS, for our teachers that come in with bachelor degrees, we start off at $44,300, and for our teachers that come in at a step 0 with a master's degree, we start off at $46,900. Right now, we are currently issuing contracts for the 2018-19 school year. So if we have any applicants for any of those vacancies, at the bottom you can see the website where they can apply to, and then at the end you actually see it again once more. Some of the benefits of working here at HCS, we offer a very competitive and comprehensive benefits plan that includes health, dental, vision, and disability. But one of the things that we do here at Hampton City Schools, like we said before, the work-life balance and the commitment to the professional and personal growth, we are really big on personal wellness of our individuals and our educators and teachers and students alike. So we do offer incentive programs that will lower your premiums on your benefit plans if you complete certain physical activities and certain health screening activities throughout the year. We have a point system that we work with here, so as long as you get 5 points before the end of the 10-month school year, we actually offer you a very, very, very deep discount on your benefits plan. So what we're saying to you is, hey, you know, we're promoting, you know, living a healthy life, a best life, and for that, we are going to reward you with lowering your premiums for health insurance. Another benefit that we have here is our Employee Wellness Center and Pharmacy. We are the only district in this area that offers this wellness center that is open to our employees that are enrolled in an approved benefits program. So our wellness center is maybe about a 5-mile drive from our headquarters here at Hampton City Schools, and is staffed with nurse practitioners that can see you for minor to major illnesses. And one of the great things about this plan is if you are enrolled in one of our benefits plans, you usually pay a 0 copay for visits, and we have an on-site pharmacy that gives you deep discounts on your prescriptions. So you don't actually have to go into network to your provider. You can actually come to our wellness center and get the same care. And we're open on Saturdays as well. So for teachers, you know, even though I know it's a Monday through Friday job, if they come up with an illness on Saturday, we have office hours on Saturday that they can go to. And like I said, most times it is free or 0 to no cost. Another big thing that we have here, a benefit of working with us, is our teacher induction program, or our new teacher induction program. And when we say new teacher, we don't mean that you are new to teaching. We mean that you are new to teaching here at Hampton City Schools. Through our program, we don't only actually put our teachers with our mentors, but we actually put them in classrooms and put them with different division leaders that will actually help them progress their first year of teaching all the way through their 10th year, 20th year of teaching. We want to ensure that professionally they are growing and that they're getting support that they need throughout the school year as curriculums change, as content change, and also as students' needs change. So that is something that we really, really promote here, is making sure that our teachers are not just equipped with the necessary knowledge, but equipped with the necessary mentors and support staff to help them transition and make it through their school years. In terms of our working environment, I just kind of jotted down a couple things that I have personally experienced here working with HCS. We are a very transparent and open communication environment. Every voice here matters. No suggestion, no complaint, nothing is too small. If you feel it, if you're passionate about it, if you feel like it would make a change, or if you just want to bring it to our attention, we actually encourage you to voice your opinions at any and all times, voice solutions, anything that you may come with, and we are going to take the time to listen to you. The second thing that I found is really big on work-life balance. We know that, you know, the work-life balance and a positive work-life balance improves job satisfaction. So we make sure that, hey, you know, when you're here with us, you're working at your best, and sometimes working at your best means that we have to make sure like your home life is just as good as your life here with us. My district is really highly developed on training and development. We're very focused. We like to identify the professional needs of our educators, and then from that point, once their needs are identified, we develop educators to excel in the classroom and beyond. One of the big things that we have here is one of our cohorts that will take you from being an in-class educator through the administration track. We have a conjunction with Old Dominion University that we go through classes with our educators once you're selected to actually do the administration track. Once you get the administration track and you go through licensure, we turn around and place you back within the district in an administrative position at that point. And then lastly, a strong team spirit. Here at Hampton City Schools, we have a family mentality. everybody works together. Everybody works together to ensure academic excellence for every child, every day, whatever it takes. And we really do mean whatever it takes to get there. And if you have any questions or would like to apply for any specific job opportunities, like I said before, I am the HR recruiter. So a lot of the information, applications, and things do come through my desk. So if you want to email me directly, my email address is listed as well as my phone number. And then for job opportunities, just go online to www.hampton.k12.va.us. And under Human Resources, you will see a list of our job vacancies here at Hampton City Schools. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
You're very welcome.
That's an impressive collection of benefits.
Oh, our benefits plan is amazing. I think that's one of the biggest things that our employees do see when they're looking at other districts on the pay scale. They may see a higher pay scale at another district, but by the time you go and look at their benefits and factor in what the benefits are, our pay scale is usually comparable, if not actually higher, based on the difference in the cost of benefits.
Wow.
So that is one of our selling points.
That is pretty impressive.
Yes, sir.
What do you enjoy about working for the district?
Number one for me, being an education major and also being a Regent alumni in curriculum and instruction, I just feel the dedication to the students and to student learning is the biggest thing for me. Even from a recruitment side, even though I hire the teachers and I'm mostly focused on licensure and things of that nature, I do look at the background of our teachers. And we try to match our teachers, not just with their licensure area, but the best fit schools for their backgrounds.
Nice.
So we just don't want to place the body, we want to place the right body and the right individual in the right school environment.
That is important.
Yes, sir, very much so. And then the family-oriented atmosphere, it's just like, hey, coming to work and working with family members. Everybody has the same commitment, the same drive, the same goal. And our different avenues to get there, they all seem to meet in the middle somehow.
And I know it looks like the district does a great job of putting, the students first. It's that kind of setting. And then it's also the benefits for the teachers so they can perform their best. How would you describe the ideal candidate to be a teacher here? Does it have to be someone with a ton of experience?
No, because we actually take a lot of teachers in our district who are coming in with provisional licensure. So a lot of teachers who come in at step 0 who may just be graduating and coming into the teaching profession. So our biggest thing for us is, number one, a commitment to students and a commitment to teaching. You can have candidates that have been in the business for 15 years and teaching for 15 years, and they don't have a passion for students. So one of our biggest things is you have to have a love for students, and a love for students with all different backgrounds and all different learning styles. So one of the biggest things I would say is we look for our teachers that are able to teach to different learning styles, not just one particular way, because you may get a classroom of 20 students and you may have 5 that have one particular learning style and the other 15 have a totally different one. So we look at the ability to be diverse in the classroom.
Oh, okay.
And then also we look for candidates that have an understanding of socioeconomics. We are an urban school district, so we have a variety of students that come from different areas, different socioeconomic levels, income levels, parent education levels. So you have to have an understanding and a love of being able to reach what we call the unreachable or the throwaway kids, the ones that people want to push off to the side and say, hey, they're a lost cause. Our educators, we don't want you to do that. We want you to take in every student and realize that every student has the potential if you work with them correctly.
And of course, you're hiring then for next school year.
Yes, we are. So we're currently hiring for 2018-19 school year. And like I said, we have a number of vacancies. Most of them are elementary and secondary. And then we have a few administrative vacancies at the school assistant principal level.
All right. And I see your information there, so people can check out hampton.k12.va.us if they're interested in more information.
Absolutely. And then if they have any questions, once they get their issues with the application process, there's my information. Call me directly or send me an email and I will respond back to you.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Does anyone attending have any questions? All right. So what I'll do is I'll make sure this recording gets out to I'll probably send it to our School of Ed too.
Okay, awesome. Yes, I would appreciate that.
Yeah. And thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Brennan. I appreciate it. You have a great weekend.
Oh, thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. let's see, you're still sharing your screen.
Okay, let me stop the share.
There you go. Awesome.
Alrighty, have a great one.
All right, thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome.
All right, and up next we have the Literacy Lab.
Hi there, can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I'm Carly, I'm the recruitment coordinator for the Literacy Lab. I'm based out of DC, but we are expanding to Hampton, Virginia this year. So that was a great, person to follow because that really sets the scene for the kind of work that we do. So give me just a moment, I'll get the screen shared. Okay, let's go ahead and put that in slideshow. Awesome. So the Literacy Lab is a nonprofit that works with students who are reading below grade level. So very basic overview, we train tutors, we place them full-time in a high-need pre-K or an elementary school where they serve for one school year to help their students get on grade level with their reading. We are an AmeriCorps program, and I'll go over sort of what that means in a moment, but that just sort of sets the scene. This is a year of service. It's a way for you to get experience and give back to the community versus like a full-time job, though it is a full-time opportunity. So as you know, this may have been mentioned during the previous presentation, but we are working really hard to close the achievement gap for our students. As you can see on this slide, students who aren't on grade level with their reading by the end of third grade have significant struggles later on in life, both in school settings and just out in the real world. So we focus on that critical window of ages 3 to grade 3 so that we can get those students ready and ensure their success later on in life. So just a little bit about us. We were founded in 2009. Our co-executive director was teaching a special ed class for 9th graders and realized that none of her students had any intellectual disabilities. They just hadn't learned how to read past a 3rd grade level. So she founded the Literacy Lab, and as you can see, we're working to close this resource gap for schools so we can ultimately close the achievement gap. And we're doing that by placing full-time tutors into these schools so that those students have someone to work with on a daily basis. For this upcoming school year, well, I should say the first year we existed, we had about 30 tutors just in DC. This upcoming year, we're hiring around 250 to 300 tutors across 6 different regions, including Hampton, Virginia. So exciting growth. I know we have 18 slots available in Hampton right now, so something to keep in mind. Exactly what our tutors do on a day-to-day basis. I'm going to skip that pre-K piece just because we only have kindergarten through 3rd grade positions in Hampton. Those folks are embedded into one school for an entire school year. So you're working with the same 15 to 18 kids every single day, pulling them out of class and working with them one-on-one for 20 minutes using this database research-backed intervention model. So what we're doing, we know that it's working because we have the data and the research to back it up. You also, by spending that daily time with your student, really get to build that rapport, build that relationship, and sort of zoom in on those areas where your students are struggling. You're never alone in deciding kind of what the next steps are for the student. We provide a lot of structure and support because that ensures the success of our students ultimately if our tutors are supported. So as a tutor, you are supported both by an internal coach. This is somebody at the school who is usually the reading specialist, but not always. It's just an employee at the school who helps you get oriented, introduces you to folks, shows you where the copier is, helps you choose your caseload of students. And then on the next level, you've got a couple of other folks, a master coach. This is a literacy expert. That's someone that travels from school to school to school, providing feedback and coaching for our tutors as they deliver their interventions to their students. And then you have a program manager. So this is somebody who's overseeing all of these different aspects. So if you have a question or a concern that doesn't fit into the category of the school or, the literacy piece, you've got someone on every level who's there to help you along the way. Basic overview of the commitment. Our tutors are serving for 11 months in a high-needs school, implementing that intervention model that I shared a little bit about. You are serving between August and July typically. The goal is to complete 1,700 hours of service. So that usually breaks down to about 40 to 45 hours a week, Monday through Friday. In addition to time at your school site, you're also contributing to the community by engaging in other volunteer opportunities, maybe at your school site or in the neighborhood. That's another way to get involved with your students in a different kind of setting, or explore interests that you might have that aren't directly related to literacy tutoring for young children. So thinking about where our tutors come from, almost anybody can be a tutor, really. Most of our folks do come to us sort of straight out of college. Maybe you're thinking about education or you're interested in the nonprofit world but aren't quite ready to commit to that master's degree or step into the classroom full time. This is a great way to kind of get your feet wet and see if it's the right fit. And that's true for our high school students who join us. That's true for the retirees that are interested in serving the community with their free time. Those career changers, they might be middle-aged, thinking about maybe I didn't make the right choice or it's time for a switch. Again, this is a good way to sort of test the waters and see if this is a direction you want to go in. Even if it's not, if you have an interest in education or nonprofits or social justice, or you have a deep commitment to the community of Hampton Roads, this is an excellent way to give back. Most of our tutors do go on to pursue education, and a lot of them do get placed in the schools where they served, which is really exciting. So some of our tutors have gone on to be paraprofessionals and even teachers at the schools where they were tutors in the past. So if the teachers and the administration see you kind of making that commitment to the community, that gives you sort of a leg up on the competition. For folks who might have a different kind of certification, schools can work with you if they know that you have that dedication and have demonstrated that commitment. So the benefits. Of course, this is a great time to go into what AmeriCorps is. If you're not familiar, AmeriCorps is this sort of network of community service-related organizations all over the country. So hundreds of organizations working with different kinds of areas. It could be the environment, education, homelessness, poverty. We just happen to be one organization that focuses specifically on education. So as an AmeriCorps organization, that means our tutors are also AmeriCorps members. With that comes this modest living allowance for Hampton Roads. It's $1,400 a month before taxes. But that's a significant commitment. So there's also a $6,000 education award that you can receive after your term of service. That is something you can use to pay back student loans or to further your education. And in a lot of cases, schools will match that amount. So you can serve and receive that education award twice. So let's say you serve for 2 years, that's $12,000, and you go to a school that matches that award, that's $24,000 you don't have to worry about for furthering your education. You can also place federal student loans on forbearance while you're serving, so you don't have to worry about making those payments during your time. There's also options for health insurance, childcare benefits, SNAP benefits, and of course that coaching and support that is provided throughout the year. So I know these are some cheesy graphics, but I think they sort of illustrate all those different aspects that we're able to support our tutors with. You'll also see that AmeriCorps logo. Since AmeriCorps has been around since 94, over 1 million people have served with the organization. So that gives you access to a network of over 1 million people nationwide who have this sort of passion for the community and social justice in the nonprofit world. So kind of just wrapping things up, thinking about why you should join. I think this little boy's face kind of tells you everything you need to know about why you would be a great asset to the program, just seeing that very clear impact that his tutor is having on him. But away from the feelingsy pieces, of course, you have that meaningful and measurable impact on the community, training and coaching throughout the year that I mentioned. And obviously that sort of leg up that I mentioned, if you are interested in going into the education sphere or not, having AmeriCorps experience on your resume does offer you a chance to, before you even step into a new office, demonstrate that commitment that you have to a long-term goal. Again, with over 1 million people having served with the organization, a lot of those folks are in the HR departments, and we'll see that and think, oh, I know that this is a good candidate. So just to wrap things up completely, we are still hiring for the 2018-19 school year. As I mentioned, we are expanding to Hampton, but we're also located in many other cities: Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia, Baltimore, Maryland, Kansas City, Missouri, and Springfield, Massachusetts. So if you happen to have an interest there, that's fine. You can find our application online. And just as another added benefit for folks who do join the team as tutors, if you refer another tutor who comes onto the team with us and completes all of their onboarding paperwork and all that fun stuff, you receive $100 for every person that comes on the team. So the current record is 10, so I'll let you do the math. There's no limit, so just as an added incentive to continue bringing other like-minded folks to the team. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have through that email address or at this time.
All right, if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or put it in the chat group below. What do you enjoy about it, Carly?
Well, I was a tutor myself, actually, a couple years ago, so to be able to see it from both sides is really interesting. And as a tutor, you know, I was helping maybe 15, 20 kids throughout the school year. And now for every tutor that I help bring on board, that's 15 to 20 more kids. So I really appreciate that ripple effect. It's also really cool to see those added, I guess, growth areas that we don't typically advertise, but that our tutors pick up on. We've had tutors thank us for teaching them how to write a professional email. And, you know, that's not something that we're kind of actively seeking to share with folks, but we try to provide as many professional development experiences as possible. And we know that that has supported our tutors in their growth. We also tend to hire from within. About half of our staff, if not more, is comprised of former tutors. So there's that chance to sort of move on up if you demonstrate success as a tutor and dedication throughout your term of service. So I like that sort of family feel that the previous presenter was talking about. I think we definitely have that as well in our organization.
And how do you feel equipped after, you know, getting on board? How do they equip you to go teach people how to read and to tutor them?
Yeah, so the program or the model that we use is called the Reading Core Model, and that was developed over 10 years ago by a big team of researchers. It's used all over the country. We're just one organization that happens to use it, so I have a lot of faith in the model. I appreciate data and seeing results, like literally, visually. You can see the graph of your students' progress throughout the year, which is great. For the preparation prior to stepping into the school, our tutors have a week-long training institute where they're learning those interventions, they're practicing them with each other, they're receiving one-on-one coaching. They're also receiving additional 60 to 80 hours of coaching throughout the year, both for those interventions, but also things like behavior management. So you have all those tools in your toolkit to support you throughout the year as well.
Oh, cool. So you learn pretty much every aspect that you might face.
Yeah, and then, you know, you're there as a support. You're not there to kind of be the disciplinarian, to be the, you know, person in front of the class. You have folks to kind of step in and take over, or to support you, you know, if need be. So that's what I also appreciated, and I know our tutors appreciate, is that consistent support at multiple levels. You know, sometimes, depending on the situation, you can go into a school or into a new work environment and you aren't quite sure who to turn to, but we really make it, you know, as clear as possible who's there for you and what they'll do to help you out.
And do you have any stories how you saw, you know, this experience make a difference in a student's life?
Oh, absolutely. Oh gosh, how do I pick just one? There was one student who, the tutor who was at my school the year before me, student didn't talk to her at all through the entire school year, wouldn't say a word. So continued to give her the intervention. So she was taking it in. And then I worked with her, and I was getting maybe 1, 2, 3 words out of her throughout my year. The tutors who worked with her last year, this child is speaking in full sentences and is no longer on caseload because, it takes time, but planting those seeds and being consistent and not giving up on these kids, she's fine. She's great. She's reading on grade level, and she's ready to go into 3rd grade without our help anymore. So it was cool, kind of like team effort over some time.
Must be rewarding to see the difference that you can make.
Absolutely. And again, I'm someone who likes to have tangible results. So if you value data, if you value, making a measurable impact, I think this is a great fit for sure.
Well, Carly, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And
Absolutely.
we'll get your presentation shared with even more people once we break apart the recordings, and we'll have them reach out to you and find out more about the opportunity.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. And thanks everyone for participating today. I had a really good time learning about all these different opportunities. Of course, if you want to learn about more opportunities, you can always go to CareerLink, which you'll find on our website. That's regent.edu/CS. Just scroll to the bottom, you'll find your CareerLink login. If you have trouble logging in, let us know. 757-352-4926 is our phone number, or career services at regent.edu. This presentation will be available on our YouTube channel, which you can find a link to by going to our website and watching the video that's there. You can kind of click YouTube and then see that channel, or you can find it through our Facebook page, Regent University Career Services. It's a Facebook group. If you're not a member, just request to join and then fill out the information that is asked, and we will get connected to you that way as well. If you have any questions for me, feel free to email us at careerservices@regent.edu. But we thank you once again so much for being part of this fair, and we look forward to connecting with you soon with upcoming opportunities. We're going through a lot of changes over this summer, but look for big announcements coming out of our department to see how we will be interacting with you next fall. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great weekend and a great day.